going to be putting a bit of some of the questions to what is the size of the Nigeria's debt market since the inauguration of the platform called the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange, standing for Financial Market Dealers Quotation over the counter market. Quite a bit of, quite a little bit of, well, you need to understand what it all stands for. But of course, the big story is the National Debt Capital Markets Summit that will bring everyone, or what you call the who is who in the Nigerian market together by this time tomorrow. And the organizers who runs the platform that brings you that ticker tape on your TV screen, the top ticker there, where you see the FMDQ, where you can see the Nigeria Treasury bills, you can see the bonds, and you can see everything. Those folks who are in charge of that, the vice president who is in charge of business development, is sitting right here in the studios with me. To Mr. Connie, good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning, Bosun. Thank you.
Great. And it's been a few years. FMDQ is becoming a household name. When it comes to the debt market, then I think a year or so ago, the central bank, in bed with the FMDQ, rolled out the FX again. So you guys scored another point. But let's stick with I know FX is king, but then let's stick with the debt market. What's been achieved so far via this platform?
Thank you, Bosun. Quite a few things have been achieved. We're already in September, getting close to the end of the year, and in spite of what people might say have been a few challenges in the market. FMDQ, in collaboration with the stakeholders, because you said FMDQ scored a point, really it is our stakeholders, those we collaborate with, that are scoring the points, and FMDQ is merely the platform that facilitates all the good things that are happening in the market. So from one of the key things, one of the major things that happened this year, we've seen quite a few firsts. And one of those things that happened was the Eurobond listing, the first ever listing of the federal government Eurobonds on a domestic exchange. That was huge for us, and we see it as sort of paving the way for more development in Nigeria, not on the local debt side, but even on the foreign currency debt side, because you have a lot of Nigerians who have foreign currency and are probably not even investing it in any sort of security. Then we also had the listing of the Nigeria Infrastructure Debt Fund, and that happened a few months ago. So again, and that is, infrastructure is sort of a major thing, and it's one of the things that's going to be discussed at the conference tomorrow. And so having sort of that fund being issued and listed on the platform was also a major thing. Look at what FMDQ sort of is trying to do in the market as well. We also got our Sukuk rules approved by the SEC, again, paving the way for the listing of these debt securities. The conference,
so the 105 billion naira Sukuk subscription, which was concluded yesterday, is coming on FMDQ OTC.
Absolutely, yes.
Taken as given.
Yes. Yes.
You got to let us know.
Yes, it would be listed on FMDQ, but obviously
and that becomes a different and a totally different tradable instrument from every other products already on FMDQ platform.
Well, I mean, the Sukuk themselves are sort of were different to the other securities listed, but what will happen is, depending on the structure of the Sukuk, then it can be traded. But FMDQ lends that platform to be able to do whatever it is you want to do. And with regards to these debt securities, information is major, and you will get that information, on the platform in terms of what the pricing is doing, what rates and things like that are. So in any form, FMDQ will be able to provide that service.
It was a tough 2016, and 2017 looks a bit of a breather. But we'll continue to see more CPs, or commercial papers,
yes.
come on your platform. What have we seen this year in terms of these commercial papers, either from the industrial manufacturing side or from financial services companies?
Well, we've seen a lot of activity in the commercial paper market, and I guess that is probably to be expected because of the, if you will, the interest rate regime and the tendency for corporates who want to raise finance to move to the shorter end of the curve, if you will, because of the rate. So CPs, we've seen a lot of activity, and we've had a lot of banks, even corporates, issue CPs, and they issue a lot of series off the back of their programs. And we've seen, say, approximately just this year alone, maybe about 50 separate issues, I'm saying in the series, from cutting across the spectrum.
What gives issuers and investors and traders confidence when it comes to a trading platform? Well, what are the key issues for them?
Again, and I alluded to it, information is key, because without the right information, you can't really do anything, or you would obviously make wrong decisions. So having that transparency is major, and you would find that affects or it cause improvement, development in every spectrum. And you spoke about FX being king. Without the right transparency, FX cannot, you can't really progress your economy in that regard. So for an exchange, having that transparency is key, but also sending out the correct information. Because again, it's one thing to be transparent, but it's another to send out the right information that people can use. So having also the systems in place to facilitate trading. You have to have sort of best execution. You have to have straight-through processing. Again, time to market is also very key. So even from when you have to list a debt security, it takes as minimal time as possible, because you want to raise finance, and it takes you 3-4 months to actually go to the market. Obviously, rates would have moved against you, or, well, could have moved against you. So those things are very key for a security.